What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan is set to develop its own version of artificial intelligence chatbot, ChatGPT. In the 2 months since its launch, ChatGPT has racked up 100 million users. The AI bot is popular because it can answer questions and write anything from essays to poetry. But this kind of bot can be prone to bias based on the data it's been trained on. As Chinese tech firm Baidu is working on a rival system, Taiwan is concerned that the world of AI bots could become skewed by pro-China messages. The Taiwanese project aims to avoid such bias while also adapting the technology to use traditional Chinese characters, which are used in Taiwan and Hong Kong. Taiwan's military says the country has not seen Chinese surveillance balloons similar to those being shot down by the United States. Our reporter Jaime Ocon was at Taiwan's Defense Ministry this morning to find out more.
Taiwan is no stranger to military harassment. The country sees Chinese warplanes operate around its borders nearly daily. It's all part of a pressure campaign to wear down Taiwan's forces. But here at the country's defense ministry, officials are highlighting a new kind of threat, and that could be in the form of balloons. A report from the Financial Times on Monday cited a Taiwanese official who said that Chinese military balloons fly very frequently into the country's airspace. That report comes as a suspected Chinese spy balloon and other unidentified objects breached U.S. airspace earlier this month, prompting the U.S. Air Force to shoot them down. As for the claims of Chinese balloons over Taiwan, this is what the military had to say.
那气球在我们周边海域到目前为止，我们发现的气球，绝大部分都是属于气象探测用的气球，也就是它的体积比较小，重量比较轻，会飞行到一定的高度之后，它会自行爆裂消失。只要是飞过附近区域的，我们都会尽各种管道来进行征收。
But the use of balloons doesn't seem to be a new phenomenon. On Monday, China's foreign ministry accused the U.S. of flying more than 10 military balloons into its airspace last year.
美方的气球非法进入别国的领空，并不是什么稀罕事。就像我刚才所介绍的那样，仅去年以来，美方的高空气球未经中国相关部门批准，就10余次非法飞越中国的领空。
Washington immediately denied these claims and any accusations of aerial surveillance of China.
We are not flying surveillance balloons over China. I'm not aware of any other craft that we're flying over into Chinese airspace.
Taiwan has lived with the threat of invasion from China for decades. Beijing sees the country as part of its territory and has never renounced the use of force to realize its ambition. Analysts say balloons could be crucial in gathering information for an initial attack.
That has military significance just because of how that affects, for example, missile reentry. And this has the potential to basically take many roles over the battlefield. For example, tactical reconnaissance, and their persistence also offers a lot of other possibilities.
Taiwan's military says that the balloons it tracked around its airspace pose no immediate threat. And whether it's aircraft, ships, or balloons, the military says it is always prepared. But with new revelations about Chinese balloons daily, there could be tougher questions to answer. Ricky and Jaime Ocon in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
More than 50,000 people have paid their respects to the late founder of an international Buddhist organization. One of Taiwan's most influential religious figures, Xing Yun, died earlier this month at the age of 95. The monk founded the Foguangshan Monastery in the southern city of Kaohsiung in 1967. The organization has set up temples and educational programs worldwide. His death has led to a cross-strait spat. Beijing accused Taiwan of blocking a Chinese delegation from attending Monday's ceremony. Taiwan's premier was at the event and later responded to the criticism.
这一个调研团没有提出这样的机制让我们来向我们申请，所以才没有办法来出席。
Taiwan has given Turkey more than 20 metric tons of relief supplies and equipment. It made the donation in the wake of last week's deadly earthquake. 4 tons have come from Taiwanese search and rescue teams. They arrived in Turkey shortly after the magnitude 7.8 quake hit. The teams are now returning home and donating their equipment to a local non-profit. The plane that's picking them up has taken another 17 tons of supplies gathered by Taiwanese civic groups. At least 37,000 people have been killed in the quake that hit Turkey and Syria. It was the deadliest earthquake in Turkey's modern history. Many quake survivors in neighbouring Syria say they're still waiting for assistance.
نمنا بالجامع 3 أيام ورجعنا على البيت، البيت ولا شباك، كله يعني تكسر، وعم نموت من البرد. المعونات ما في أبدا ولا حدا أجى لعنا ولا حدا قالنا شو ناقصكم ولا شيء أبدا. والوضع كتير مأساوي.
Women and children lined up outside a school in the Syrian city of Latakia on Monday, only to find that supplies were limited to those in official shelters. The United Nations says there has been a global failure to help Syrian quake victims, with most aid focused on Turkey. The situation is complicated by Syria's civil war. Many of the country's worst affected areas are controlled by rebel forces. Rights groups have slammed the state-ordered closure of one of Cambodia's few remaining independent media outlets. Cambodian leader Hun Sen ordered the shutdown of Voice of Democracy, or VOD. The Prime Minister says the outlet had attacked him and his son and had hurt the government's reputation. Human Rights Watch condemned the decision as absurd. The United States says it will have a chilling impact on freedom of expression and access to information ahead of Cambodia's elections in July. The Taiwan Space Agency is set to launch its first domestically built weather satellite. It's meant to provide more accurate meteorological data and could help to predict typhoons. John Van Trieste has more.
Ready for liftoff. This is a replica of Triton, Taiwan's first homegrown weather satellite. Triton could be launched into orbit as early as next month. As the model shows, it's only 1 meter wide, but it's a big step forward for Taiwan's aerospace industry.
猎风者号，它是我们第一个自主的气象卫星，也是太空中第2个自主的卫星。
82% of Triton's components and much of its technology were created right here in Taiwan. But this isn't just a matter of national pride. The weather data it will provide could help save lives.
它上去之后呢，如果说它能够顺利的繁衍出来这个海面风场的资料哈，那这对于我们气象预报或者是台风预报会有很大的助益。
Taiwan already has other weather satellites. One cluster was launched in 2019, but Triton will be orbiting at an angle, giving it a different view of the world. This will allow meteorologists to gather a greater range of data.
在量测地面的反射，它可以去量土壤的湿度，或者是其实它也有去量海冰的状况。
Triton is set to launch from a space center in France's South American territory, French Guiana. When it does, the satellite will give Taiwan a clearer picture of weather patterns and put a piece of Taiwanese tech into orbit. Damon Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is considering lifting at-home quarantine requirements for people with COVID, as long as their case is mild. This comes amid a steady downturn in case numbers. Currently, people who test positive for COVID are required to isolate for 5 days. They should then wait until they test negative or a week has passed before going out as normal. Under the proposed rules, people could skip the isolation period. But officials say there is no timetable for when these rules could take effect. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of thousands of musicians playing at a carnival in Bolivia. I'm Louise Watt. Take care and have a happy Valentine's Day.